When we started this show, I promised to cover corruption. So today was a big day for us here at Primetime. For the last 2 months, we've been trying to get to the bottom of Paul Pelosi's DUI and find out what really happened that night. Because at the end of the day, this is about transparency and equal standards of justice. Just because Paulie P's married to the Wolf of Washington, he doesn't get a free pass. If he committed a crime, he deserves to do the time. And the justice system shouldn't be doing him any favors. Would they do you any favors? You know the answer to that. Well, this morning, Paul Pelosi was due in court to finally face the music. Now, Papa Paulie P is too much of a bigwig to show up himself, so he sent his lawyer in his place, and the entire hearing was literally over in 2 minutes. And his case got to be heard first, even though it was in alphabetical order. Correct me if I'm wrong, but does P come before A? At least we did get to hear from our good friend, Napa County District Attorney Allison Haley. Hey, Allie.
My name is Allison Haley. I'm Napa County's District Attorney. This morning, Mr. Pelosi appeared what we call 977. It means that a misdemeanor DUI defendant can appear through his attorney. He was arraigned on the charges of DUI causing injury, driving with a .08 blood alcohol level or higher causing injury. His defense attorney is Amanda Bevins. On behalf of her client, she acknowledged receipt of the criminal complaint, waived formal reading and advisement, confirmed that her client is charged by his true and correct name, entered pleas of not guilty on his behalf, waived his right to a jury trial within 45 days.
So they punted the whole thing to August 23rd, thinking that I'm going to be on vacation that week. But I'm not. And we're not going to wait until the 23rd anyway. We've already waited 2 months. This is a DUI case, not a triple homicide. We know that Paul's been getting home cooking from the very beginning. And we asked Allie all about that.
Can you respond to critics who say Mr. Pelosi is getting special treatment?
I can assure you that but for press conferences and phone calls, this matter is handled like every other matter that Napa County handles. We handle approximately 550 DUIs in any given year, and this matter is being treated and being put in the order and going to court the same as any other case in Napa County.
But this isn't how Napa County handles cases. We had to threaten to sue the county to get the mugshot, and it took weeks. And do defendants normally hire high-priced PR teams who lie to the press? Remember this? So far as I know, there is no mugshot. That was the response we got from Papa Paul's fixer when we asked for the pic. All right, we got it. But getting Pelosi's mugshot was just the start of the cover-up. The crash happened over Memorial Day weekend, and Napa County has been hiding the criminal complaint ever since. But it was leaked to us yesterday, and if it hadn't been leaked, we still never would have seen it. Why'd they hide it? Well, it's filled with stuff that makes Paul look bad. Like the fact that both cars were totaled and that Paulie P was so drunk he was slurring his words and he had drugs in his system. What was this drug? Was Pelosi on some blood pressure medication or was it a narcotic? Because there's a big difference. Maybe they were trying to cover up the fact that the crash happened a little after 10, but police didn't test Paul's blood until well after midnight. Why not at the scene? So he had a little time to sober up, obviously, and he still blew over the legal limit. We know from the leaked complaint that Pelosi handed the officers a police privilege card. Then they asked him for his driver's license, and he gave him the card that says he's a donor. You know what that means? I think you do. Also, was Paul alone in the car? Because now we have some conflicting stories. The police report says, quote, at the time of the initial contact, that's an interesting phrase, Mr. Paul Pelosi was the sole occupant of his Porsche and seated in the driver's seat. Sole occupant. All right, so he's alone. It's funny how they phrase that, though, isn't it? Because the New York Times report on the crash said there was a witness at the scene. Quote, a person who witnessed the accident said both cars were totaled and that Mr. Pelosi simply sat in the car, seemingly frozen, for several minutes until the sheriff and members of the fire department arrived moments later. The whole thing happened late at night in wine country. No one's walking on the sidewalks to witness this. There are no sidewalks. So who was this witness? Were they the ones who called 911? Or was there another passenger in the car who made the 911 call and then disappeared? We don't know. And by the way, they're still hiding the 911 call. We didn't even know until yesterday that the victim sustained serious injuries. We were told the injuries were minor. It turns out, quote, the day after the collision, he had pain to his upper right arm, right shoulder, and neck. It was difficult to lift things with his right arm, and he was suffering from headaches that had not been present prior to the collision, and now he's seeking medical care with his physician. Now, the extent of these injuries is very important because that's what the DA's office uses to determine whether a DUI is a felony or not. But DA Allison Haley, hey, Allie, is sticking with the misdemeanor charge.
Can you walk us through the decision to charge Mr. Pelosi with a misdemeanor after you learned about the seriousness of the crash?
We evaluated the matter, interviewed the victim, and compared it to other similarly situated cases. And the kinds of injuries that he presents, historically, we have filed those matters as misdemeanors, not as felonies.
Well, that's music to Papa Paulie's ears because the misdemeanor charge is probably not going to land him in jail. But if it was upgraded to a felony that caused great bodily injury, Paul could be looking at 6 years in the slammer. There's a lot riding on the DA's office keeping this a misdemeanor. So the injuries are a big factor. Now, we believe the driver worked in a vineyard, and we've contacted him, and he hangs up the phone on us. So we don't have any clue about the injuries. We also don't know if the Pelosis are going to be taking care of the driver, if you know what I mean. We do know that the judge in this case is political. The night before today's hearing, the original judge just vanished and was mysteriously replaced with this Democrat judge, Monique Langhorne, who's never tried a criminal case in her entire career, who also just happens to rub elbows with Gavin Newsom and took campaign donations from Allie and other prosecutors. Watch.
The judge took a campaign contribution from you and the assistant district attorney. How is that not a conflict of interest?
This matter, I believe I gave Judge Langhorne $100 in 2018. I have full faith and belief that she can be fair and impartial. And if the other side, in fact, if either side believes that that's not the case, the California Code has a procedure where we can move a judge out of that courtroom.
She says 2018 like it's like 1918, right? And $100 is a lot of money for a county judge. It's not like, you know, a presidential primary. And why would Papa Paulie want to move the judge? He got the judge he wants. This case couldn't be set up for him any better. What we really need is a clear look at what actually happened that night. There was just some video, like, you know, like a dash cam or a body cam. We could just see everything for ourselves.
We're wondering why the dash cam video has still not been released. Can you help us understand why that has not been released yet?
Dash cam video is evidence in this case, and I'm ethically prohibited from releasing that as soon as this matter is over.
So our good friend Allie is keeping that footage to herself. So we could get it once the case is settled at the end of the month, or we could have it tonight because Allie gave the blessing to California Highway Patrol.
I have no direction to provide CHP, and they are free to do with it what they like. These aren't my items.
California Highway Patrol can release the footage today, like this second. Allie said they could, but they won't. Are they waiting for donations from Paul? But we were back on the phone with them today and trying to get some transparency, and they said they're working on it. So here's the woman that runs California Highway Patrol, Amanda Ray. Remember Amanda? The commish. That's her contact info. They don't want you to call or text or email, but if you do, be polite. Allie says you can release the footage, Amanda. This is on you. Are you going to be part of the cover-up? What's it going to be, commish? I surely hope this isn't about money. Brian Claypool is an attorney who's been following the case with us, and he joins me now. Well, it's good to see you in person, Brian.
Yeah, good to see you, Jesse.
So you saw how they just boom, boom, boom. They got a settlement case hearing in about 2 weeks. I won't be on vacation. Is that how these things usually shake out?
Are you kidding me? This is an abomination. I mean, you never get a settlement conference a couple of weeks after an arraignment. I've had cases go 3, 4 court hearings a year out before you ever get a settlement conference. And what's irresponsible about what Allie's telling us is you just heard her. She said, we reviewed everything and we've come to the conclusion that this is like every other case. Well, she's missing a lot of information. She hasn't reviewed the medical records of the victim. A responsible DA would get all the medical records. Let us interview the victim. Let's find out, has he been injured? Because that would raise this crime to a felony. So she hasn't reviewed all the information. And she hasn't reviewed this other drug that was in the count. It said, the exact language said, intoxicated combined with a drug. Now, get this. Paulie's lawyer says, when she was asked about it, she says, oh, I think they just put that in there because that's the statutory language. That's comical. That is ridiculous. The DA has a responsibility to find out what that other drug is. If they did a blood test, they already have the results. So what is that other drug?
So why are they hiding the drug? You're right. They have the blood test. They should be able to put that in the criminal complaint. We got the complaint through a leak because we've been banging this drum for a long time, asking for someone to stand up and do the right thing out in Napa County. We finally got it. And even the way they wrote the criminal complaint is shady. Oh, he happened to be the only one in the car when we initially showed up to the crime scene. Why was it written like that? And then why'd they say another drug? Wouldn't they usually name the narcotic if they knew the narcotic? Or if it was Sudafed, wouldn't they put that in there?
It would be in there, Jesse. That's an excellent point. And that's what I'm talking about. They're teeing this up for August 23rd. I'm glad you're going to be here. They're teeing this up for him to walk into that courtroom. Oh, we'll give you a probation, couple years, and see you later. You and I and all the viewers across this country never get to see the truth, right? And Allie's wrong when she said, did you hear her say it was another laughable moment when she said, I've got 500 cases. I never give up dash cam video. That's not the law, Allie. It's not Allie's law in California. There's no Allie's law. The law is they need to give up the dash cam unless it impairs a criminal investigation. And guess what? According to Allie and according to this judge, the investigation's over because they're going to settle it on August 23rd. So that excuse doesn't fly either, right?
Why would CHP, California Highway Patrol, still, after getting the go-ahead from the DA, they can release it, why would they still be hiding the footage?
This whole thing stinks. That's what we're talking about.
Because you think it's a donation play? Because he handed them a card that says, I'm a big donor and I could be a bigger donor if this thing shakes out the way I want?
Absolutely. He handed him an $11.99 card, which means he's donated to this charitable contribution for the CHP. You tell me, if I get pulled over, the first thing I'm not thinking about is, oh, where's my $11.99 card? I'm thinking, is my daughter okay in the car? You know, am I going to get in trouble? He's like, here it is.
Yeah, where's your license? Oh, here's my donor card.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and here's another thing. I mean, this is unprecedented in California and in any state where you have this type of damage to a vehicle too, right? The more we learn, somebody could have been killed. This is not a minuscule matter. Somebody could have been killed, and this DA combined with this judge, and by the way, we still don't know why the previous judge recused himself or herself, right?
Herself. All of a sudden, on the eve of the hearing, the original judge just leaves, and then we get this politicized judge come in, never tried a criminal case in her career. And she agrees to a settlement hearing in 3 weeks. It's unbelievable. But this is consistent with how they do things in Napa. I should go to Napa and just drive drunk. I'll never pay any price. Obviously, that was an analogy. I would never do that.
I think it's going to be...
And I can never drive drunk ever after covering this story. I need to Uber myself everywhere I go.
It's going to be Paulie's Pub, not Department 3 on August 23rd.
You're right. They'll probably give him a drink and celebrate.
Exactly, right.
The slap on the wrist.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.